Rap and crime seem inseparable. Although the hip-hop industry has produced great artists and entertainers, it has also seen the rise of criminals and criminal activity, and with crime comes the full force of the law. Thanks to modern technology, we now have access to footage of rappers being arrested for their crimes. Here are 10 most shocking rappers of arrest footage. Kodak Black. Kodak Black is not new to controversy. He has found himself in cuffs on numerous occasions. Dating back to 2015, when he was arrested and charged with robbery, battery, false imprisonment of a child, and possession of cannabis. He has been in and out of jail for various crimes, and in 2019, Kodak was charged with 2 counts of making a false statement on a governmental forum where he lied on the forum while attempting to purchase firearms. The rapper reportedly faced up to 10 years in prison on the charges and pleaded not guilty. Federal prosecutors attempted to revoke his bail, pointing to past violent crimes such as a 2012 carjacking incident and his possible connections to a shooting in March 2019. According to them, he posed a danger to society due to his long history of criminal acts, as well as his repeated violation of past probation rules. Kodak Black took a plea bargain and was sentenced to 46 months in prison, a drastically shorter sentence than the 96 months that the courts had been considering, as the rapper had been involved in a fight while incarcerated that involved injury to a prison guard. Luckily, on January 19, 2021, President Donald Trump commuted Kodak Black's sentence, although saw to it that he was a free man. Kodak would not quit committing crimes, and on July 15, 2022, the rapper's vehicle was stopped by Florida Highway Patrol because the window tint appeared darker than the legal limit. The resulting encounter, which later led to his arrest, was caught on camera. The events were shocking to say the least, as his mother arrived at the scene to try and plead for her sons. Released, the video begins with cops trailing the rapper's car. According to the cops, his car's window tint appeared darker than the legal limit. However, as the officer spoke to the rapper, they detected a smell of weed and searched the vehicle. On the vehicle already, Kodak denied having ever smoked weed. According to the rapper, someone gave him a few marijuana buds at a gas station but denied smoking. But he just gave me one of that gas stations after. Kodak admitted to having a few buds of weed in his car and no marijuana card. The officers cut him a deal. If they could not measure the weed, they would not charge him. They would only give him a warning for the tinted window and a citation for driving with an expired driver's license. However, when the cops searched his vehicle, they found a bag with 31 oxycodone tablets and placed him under arrest. As Kodak sat at the back of the cop's car, his mother showed up in a bizarre case of motherly love. She begged the cops to set her son free and arrest her instead. She was willing to take her son's charges. Clearly desperate to have her son free, she threatened to kill herself if the cops did not let her son go. Down same day music, gonna kill myself in an attempt to calm her down. One of the cops opened the back of the car and allowed Kodak's mom to see her son in tears. Kodak's mom tried to explain to his son that his actions were taking an emotional toll on her. This must have broken Kodak's spirit, as he shed a few tears as his mom wiped his face with her hand in an emotional moment. Mother and son hugged as they both wept in each other's arms. The rapper was later charged with trafficking in oxycodone and possession of a controlled substance 5 days later. On July 20, 2022, Kodak was placed on house arrest after his arrest was said to be a violation of his supervised release. However, seeing his mother cry should be a wake-up call for the rapper to start making better decisions. Offset's arrest was very similar to Kodak Black's, from being stopped due to tinted windows to police searching the vehicle and finding illegal things. Offset has also found himself on the wrong side of the law since 2013, when he was jailed for violating his probation that he had received due to prior felony convictions for burglary and theft, even when serving time. Offset has proven to be a menace, as was charged with battery and inciting a riot within a penal facility after attacking another inmate, causing severe injury. On July 23, 2018, Offset would find himself in more trouble after a traffic stop led to him being put in handcuffs once more. The video starts with cops tailing Offset's Porsche. Offset pulls over at a gas station as 3 cops surround his car. One of the cops approaches Offset, who is seated in the driver's seat, and politely asks for his ID. The rapper stubbornly refuses to comply and tells the cop that he is famous. "Yep, you heard me right." Offset refused to give the officer his ID and thought that his celebrity status would somehow help him in this situation. Unfortunately, the cop did not know who Offset or the Migos were. "All right, you got your ID on you, sir." "Yeah, well, you can't get your ID first, sir. I'm famous too." "Okay, I know my rights." "Okay, sir, I need your ID, and then I'll tell you so. I know who you are, and then we'll go from there." The cop then admitted to not knowing who he was, probably to show him that he did not care about his celebrity status. "You said you're famous. Who are you?" "I'm Offset." Migos, whose thought a simple situation, started to escalate as Offset outright refused to give the officer his ID. and insisted that he called his lawyer. It must be frustrating being a rapper's lawyer if they have to call you even at the slightest confrontation with the law, but that's what they are paying for. After his lawyer gave him the green light to hand over his ID, Offset went ahead and complained about the number of cops who had pulled up on him, stating that he feared for his life. Turns out that the sheriff's office had also pulled up to see why the Porsche had been pulled over. The cop explained that he had stopped the rapper because his rear window tint appeared darker than the legal limit. In his defense, Offset stated that he had just bought the car 2 days ago and hadn't made any modifications to the window. After calming Offset down with a friendly conversation, the officer proceeded to ask whether the rapper had any firearms in the car, which he denied. "Look, we asked her by any firearms in the car. We asked everybody this ride. Safe, and you're safe, all right, no, okay, appreciate it, what's up?" The officer then had a whiff of marijuana coming from the car and proceeded to ask Offset to step out of the car. After checking with his lawyer, who's still on call, Offset and his passenger, the rapper's bodyguard, got out of the car. The two were patted down for weapons, and Offset's bodyguard had a gun on him and was handcuffed and put at the back seat of the cop car. The officer proceeded to search Offset's car and found a loaded gun underneath the driver's seat and weed on the floorboard. After Offset's criminal history was checked, the cops found out that he was a felon and was placed under arrest for gun possession by a convicted felon. However, in a sudden twist of events, the charges against the two were dropped. According to the arresting officer, the feds ordered that the charges be dropped. Turns out that Offset was part of a larger investigation that the feds were running. According to prosecutors, continuing the case would alert other potential future parties to the investigation and tamper evidence that may support federal charges against said parties. DaBaby, from slapping female fans to robbing promoters, rapper DaBaby has had his fair share of controversy in 2020. The rapper was arrested and questioned over an Alligatorberry in Miami. According to reports, the rapper was arrested on Tuesday after alleged altercation with promoters for Cafe Iguana Pines, where he was reportedly set to perform. The promoters had reportedly promised the baby $30,000 for the appearance, but he was allegedly only given $20,000. After counting the money, the baby started demanding the rest of the money, and a verbal altercation ensued. A physical fight followed, with the rapper allegedly punching one of the promoters. He and his guys then allegedly attacked the other promoter. The group then took one of the promoter's iPhone 7, a credit card, and about $80. In a video shared by TMZ, the baby's guys can be seen robbing a guy. The guy's pockets are emptied as he is dragged, leading to his pants falling. As the men are about to drive off, one of them jumps out of the vehicle and punches the victim. Cops were then called to the location. In the footage from his arrest, the rapper denies robbing anyone because at that time he had more than in cash, so it wouldn't make sense for him to rob anyone right now. Applause. He even threatened to sue the hotel's security for putting him in handcuffs, yet they didn't have a case against him. According to the cops, the rapper was arrested after being positively identified by one of the victims taking me to a station as he was being arrested. The rapper asked the cops to be careful with his thumb as he was handcuffed and led outside. As the rapper was being let out of the hotel that he was staying in, he pleaded with the cops to let him get the 25000 that was in his hotel room. The baby was then loaded in the back of the cop car and taken in for questioning. The rapper was then ordered to stay away from the property. Boosie Badass, Louisiana. Rapper Boosie Badass has made it known that he does not like the police. The rapper has made it clear on numerous occasions that he hates anyone who talks to the police. Recently, he condemned Gunna for allegedly snitching on Young Thug in their RICO case. As a game once again, is that your statement or acknowledgement? Yes. While on the Big Homie House podcast, the rapper hoped that Gunna wouldn't sell another record in his life. Think Gunna might be done unless he goes to another country. I don't want no rat to excel, so I hope he never sells another record again. With his dislike for anyone cooperating with the authorities already evident, one would wonder what would happen if Boosie was directly dealing with the cops. Well, the rapper has had his fair share of encounters with the cops, even once facing the death penalty in the alleged killing of more than 5 people in July 2022. Footage of one of the rapper's numerous encounters with the cops was posted online, and no one was surprised by how the events unfolded, as he even threatened to spit on the police officer. According to reports, the rapper and the driver were pulled over for having dark window tints and a concealed license plate. However, when other cops pulled up on the scene, one of them admitted to smelling weed. Since the incident took place in Georgia, the plain smelled doctrine was applicable. This meant that when law enforcement officers smell weed, it provides enough probable cause for them to search a vehicle. The rapper and his driver were put in handcuffs and detained. The cops then started to search their vehicle thoroughly. When questioned, the rapper denied having weed in the car. As the search went on, the rapper started to get loud and visibly angry as he shouted obscenities at the cops, Seemingly frustrated, the rapper continued to complain at the top of his voice and at one point threatened to spit on the police so that they could charge him "Make you towards me, show you how you get down. When I get locked up," the rapper even threatened to punch the first white person he saw if they took him to jail. Why the cops found pills in the car, but Boosie defended himself by revealing that they were birth control pills. The rapper went ahead to accuse the cops of being racist, saying that if he was a white baseball or soccer player they would not search his vehicle, instead, they would have stopped him for an autograph. "If I was a white college player, you would with my vehicle. If I played soccer girl, baseball, you win for my vehicle, you're a stopper for autograph." Boosie was only given citations for marijuana possession and tinted windows. Polo G. Obtaining money and fame at a young age is everyone's dream. You don't have toe work, a 9-to-5 job, and you have access to all the luxuries money can buy. However, for most young adults, fame and riches turn them into arrogant and unbearable people. Chicago rapper Polo G is one such individual, having attained stardom by 23. He seemed to have thrown humility out the window. This would be seen during his arrest in 2021. On June 11, 2021, Polo G and his 16-year-old brother were arrested by officers from the Miami Police Department. The pair, along with more than 10 people in the rapper's entourage, were leaving his album release party. According to police, the vehicle was stopped due to having dark tinted windows. Initially, the rap star refused to exit the vehicle and called his mother, who is also his manager. On FaceTime, officers stated that they ordered everyone to exit the vehicle to be searched for firearms after a passenger stated that the vehicle was bulletproof. In the arrest report, cops stated that the young rapper struggled with the officer, attempting to handcuff him, striking him. Polo G was then charged with 2 felonies and 3 misdemeanors. The most shocking thing about the video that was later released was Polo G's attitude towards the officer, who was only doing his job. Body cam footage from the incident shows how much of a nuisance the rapper was that night. He first started by mocking the officer's financial situation, telling him that he was broke. "Oh, here we go, about the broke and about the money. Oh my god, if you die right now, what could you giveth?" Rapper went as far as to involve the cop's mom and his childish tirade as he bragged about what he had done for his mother. "Anything, yeah. Mother's Day." The rapper then went ahead to involve the officer's kids, who, to his credit, remained calm throughout the whole ordeal. "And your kids gotta live with the fact they possible cause. He never had no money, and now they do. Dead and gone. My soul, he'll be proud of me." Despite all the disrespect he had shown the officer, the rapper was still thrown in the slammer Ty Dolla $ign, and in 2018, rapper Ty Dolla $ign was arrested and charged for felony cocaine possession, felony possession of Schedule 1 controlled substances, and a misdemeanor for marijuana possession. That day, a cop walked past a black Mercedes-Benz Sprinter van and recognized a very strong odor of burnt marijuana coming from the vehicle. The cop then contacted his supervisor, additional units to assist him, and a canine unit to the location. Once the canine unit arrived, all 7 occupants in the vehicle were asked to step out and were detained. A walk around of the vehicle was conducted, and the canine barked to indicate there were narcotics inside the vehicle. Once inside the vehicle, the canine dog hit instantly on the rapper's backpack. Upon searching the backpack, cops found a tobacco grinder with fresh marijuana residue, along with marijuana, rolling papers, a blunt, and 2 THC pins. The rapper was then put in handcuffs and put in the back of a police vehicle. This prompted the authorities to search the vehicle further. After combing through the vehicles, 18 grams of marijuana was found stuffed in between the back seat. Also behind the rapper's seat was a small container of cocaine. However, according to the police, any passenger could have thrown it. Their body cam footage from the incident showed that everyone denied ownership of the cocaine, so everyone was taken down to the police station. Ownership of the cocaine, which nobody took possession of on scene since the marijuana was less than announced. The van's driver decided to take responsibility for it. "Eric, you're gonna take care of it, or you're gonna take possession of it, as it was yours." The driver decided to take the fall because, according to him, it was his vehicle and he did not know that the drugs were on it. He clarified that the rest had nothing to do with it. "It's not them, I just picked them up, and where was the marijuana at? So you're taking possession of, but you don't know where the marijuana was at." It is safe to say that the cops were not buying the driver's story. It seemed as if he was just the fall guy. The cops took the driver to a separate room for questioning, where he continued to take responsibility for the drugs. While being questioned by the cops, he also took responsibility for the cocaine. "Cocaine, yours. What it looked like?" Glock 9. While rappers such as Uzi, Badass, and Polo G were extremely rude to their arresting officers, Glock 9 was shockingly cooperative. Body cam footage from the night he was arrested shows him cooperating with the cops, joking, and even revealing that he had weed on it. On October 3, 2018, an officer observed two Dodge Challengers, a black one and an orange one, traveling side by side at high speed. Unfortunately, the officer lost sight of the black vehicle but stopped the orange one. Rapper 9 Glock 9 was the driver. The officer smelled marijuana from the vehicle, prompting him to conduct a probable cause search. The rapper first lied that he did not have weapons in the car. However, upon searching the vehicle, the officer found a gun. A run of the firearm's serial number revealed that it was stolen, despite the rapper insisting that it was his. Hey, Ryan. Small amounts of weed were also found throughout the car's interior. The officers made the encounter less frightening by being warm and friendly to the detainees. They even admitted to liking the rapper's music. What's your rapper name? Man, I'm gonna look you up. What is it? It's Block 9. Dude, shockingly, the cops were fans of the rapper. You can't break the logic. This is a rapper. I listened to his music. You listened to his music on way to jail. The arresting officer was so impressed by the rapper's conduct during the whole encounter that he gave him the chance to come clean on any other illegal thing he may have had in his possession to avoid extra charges at the police station. I'm gonna give you a chance now to get it out. If you want, that's right. Unexpectedly, the rapper broke out into a smile. The cops had been friendly with him so far that he felt that he could freely talk to them. Glock 9, and then stated that he had weed in his underwear. You do? Yeah? Okay. What do you got? I got weirdo. You got weed, honey? Where's that? Can you pull it out? The rapper was uncuffed, and he removed a large plastic bag of weed from his underwear. NBA Youngboy. Well, that is definitely something that we can all associate NBA Youngboy with acting nuts. The rapper is no stranger to controversy. He has been arrested multiple times since 2014. In February 2019, the rapper would find himself in trouble with the cops after he encouraged his girlfriend to assault housekeeping staff, according to reports. Housekeeping staff entered the room, which they thought was unoccupied. Youngboy allegedly told his girlfriend Startha Jeepen to get the staff out of the room. She then punched the staff member in the face, and the fight continued into the hallway. The staff member eventually ran away and called for help. According to the staff at the hotel, the couple was hanging out in a hotel room that was supposed to be unoccupied. Notification. He just looking at me. I said, do you want me to tell the front desk that you wouldn't check out? He called and said, baby, come and get these. The two protested as they were put in handcuffs as they worried about their baby who was in the room. However, the cops declined the request since the baby was being taken care of by cops in their room. At first, the cops were only going to detain the rapper's girlfriend. However, Youngboy's conduct forced the cops to put him in cuffs. The rapper was infuriated by the cops because he thought that their body cams were
off. What is also even crazier is that the couple was allegedly smoking weed in the hotel room with their baby around. This is the assumption since cops found weed in the room. Also, the room was filled with the smell of weed. It smells like weed in here. Despite the couple acting rowdy during the arrest at the station, they were calm and even joked and laughed with the cops. Hot Boy. Most rappers love to live life on the edge. When one is a convicted felon, it is common knowledge that one should not be around guns or drugs since they risk going back behind bars. Despite Florida rapper Hot Boy knowing this, he decided to do the exact opposite. His unwise decision to be around guns led to an encounter with the men in blue and later his arrest, which was caught on camera on September 22, 2018 at around 11 p.m. Hot Boy and 3 others were heading to an event. The rapper sat in the front passenger seat and had a gun on his waistband. While on their way, Hot Boy removed the gun from his waistband and activated its laser sight. The rapper pointed it around the vehicle and placed it back into his waistband. Unfortunately, on-duty police officers observed all this and decided to follow the vehicle as the vehicle was being tailed. Police reports showed that the vehicle violated traffic rules such as failing to use a turn signal. The police footage starts as the rapper's vehicle and cop car pull up to the event's venue. The driver was the first to get questioned by the officer. The police officer asked the driver whether there were any guns or drugs in the vehicle, which he denied, a response that would later on turn out to be a lie. Any guns, drugs, weapons, anything like that in the car? No. Okay. The rest of the passengers were searched one by one, but nothing was found on them. The officers proceeded to search the vehicle and found a gun on the front passenger side floorboard where the rapper was seated. The firearm was identified as a Glock 32 with a rail-mounted laser sight. Following this, Hot Boy was put in handcuffs. Hey boss man, do my favorite turnaround for transfer in a sudden turn of events. One of the suspects decided to make a run for it as Tajim Joseph was just about to be placed in handcuffs. He slipped out of the cop's hands and ran watch again as the officer instructs him to stand up and turn around, and as she proceeds to cuff him, he slips away in a flash. The officers run after him as he disappears into the darkness. Because of Tyne's antics, everyone else was placed in handcuffs. Later, a scan of the firearm revealed that it had been reported stolen in 2014. Since Hot Boy had previously been convicted of a felony, he was arrested on suspicion of possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. Ultimately, the charges against Top Boy were dropped. However, he was subsequently arrested on a RICO as part of a sweeping Central Florida anti-gang operation. G Herbo drama between separated couples who have kids together is often ugly, as two people who were once in love end up treating each other poorly. This was the case of Chicago. Rapper G Herbo Therapy was arrested in Atlanta on April 19, 2019, for battery after an alleged physical altercation with the mother of his child. His baby mama took to Instagram to explain what happened that day. He kicked my door down to get in my house because I wouldn't let him and beat out of me in front of my son. Then he took my son outside to his friends and had them drive off with my son, hid all my knives in my house, broke my phone and locked me inside and beat the out of me again, dragged me outside in the concrete by my hair. After his friends drove off with my son, he wrecked my whole house, broke all type of I have a black eye, my body scraped up from being dragged outside. It is important to note that the rapper pleaded guilty to the charges, saying that he was eager to put this incident behind him and to move on with his life and his work, both in the studio and in the community. However, body cam footage released by the cops showed Herbo lying to the cops about what had happened. According to the rapper, he was there to take his jewelry and that he had no reason to put his hands on him. I came back here to get my jerk. She only got, I could go show you mine right there, half my jerk. I came in, I bought this house here. I'm not on the underscore, but I bought this house. I don't have no reason to be putting out here as well. I come back, get my gear. When he arrived at the house, his baby mama said that